Hello, everybody. This is Frank with Iron Age News, South Florida Conservative News Center, Friday, July 10th. It's around 4 p.m. and it is roasting. As you can see, I'm overdeveloped or overexposed again. News just came out, which is why I brought it to your attention, that U.S. forces probably, allegedly, started throwing a bunch of missiles into Iran and the South Pars natural gas complex, which is in Bashir province. There's videotape footage of the local, whatever you want to call them, the local night watchman running for his effing life. As you can see, the trails from the missiles coming down. Now, this South Pars natural gas complex is interesting because it is the home to the country's largest source of natural gas and the backbone of much of Iran's domestic electric production. South Pars is not simply another energy facility. It is one of the most critical nodes in Iran's entire economy, and it supplies the fuel that powers the industry, the businesses, and much of the national electrical grid. And that is why today's attack deserves a little bit more close examination. At this stage, we simply don't know enough to draw firm conclusions. We don't have the BDA, as they would say, the bomb damage assessment. So what follows is informed speculation before the Iranians sue us, as they normally will. And this is based on the available reporting, observable market reactions, and the broader strategic pattern we have been discussing over the past several months. The immediate question was, and is this, was the objective really to destroy energy infrastructure, or was it to interrupt the fuel that keeps Iran's electrical system operating? And that is a very valid point because, as you've heard President Trump in the past, I'll smash your infrastructure, I'll smash your bridges, Trump smash, right? And he's always going on like that. So this represents something fundamentally different from attacking power plants or transmission lines. It would amount to targeting the grid's metabolism, you get me, rather than the grid itself, reducing the flow of natural gas into the electrical system while leaving much of the infrastructure intact and recoverable. Need only blow up a couple of valves to stop the gas from flowing. And this is the world's, I think, one of the world's largest gas fields. So interesting there as well. However, most of the gas stays in the country. So somebody starts yelling, Europe gets some of it where they sneak it in. Of course, China does something, but China mostly plays in the oil of Iran. So they may have to sit this one out. So if that interpretation proves correct, it would also explain why this target carries far fewer international political risks than a direct attack, as everybody wants, for some reason, for us to go in there and drop the gate and run upon Karg Island, which is Iran's principal crude oil export terminal. A strike on Karg, as I've said before, would likely send oil prices sharply higher, hopefully not to the $100 a barrel mark, and immediately raise fears of a deliberate attack on the global energy market. But a carefully calibrated strike at South Pars, by contrast, places pressure primarily on Iran's domestic economy and industrial capacity while avoiding the optics of attempting to remove millions of dollars and millions of barrels, actually billions of dollars and millions of barrels of oil from world markets. So whether that was the intended objective remains to be seen, but if subsequent evidence shows localized electrical shortages, industrial shutdown or slowdown, and relatively rapid repairs rather than wholesale destruction, today's strike may prove to be another example of a campaign designed to create strategic leverage through precision rather than devastation. And it shows once again the United States military, under whoever's running the show over there, is very adaptable, or at least is finally listening in some ways, probably to some advice coming from outside of the Pentagon. And that is a bonus for those of us who are trying to hope that the world becomes a better place without having to kill half of it. So that's what's going on now. I'm sure it'll be blown out of proportion by later today or tomorrow, but I thought we'd have that for before happy hour hits. Happy hours in 3 minutes. So that's about all. Have a good day. And oh, by the way, today was the beginning of the Battle of Britain for you World War II buffs out there. So see you later on. Bye.